Yeah. Yep. Alright, yeah, I just want to do a quick talk about these organic portals and how they're never getting out of here. You know, one thing I've noticed is they've brought in more fluoro now. Since I've started making those videos on the color coding, and they're trying to like gaslight you by making you think that, you know, you're crazy or something. And you know what happened at the marina just before I went? They put up a wetsuit. Oh, it was so funny. They put up a wetsuit that was had a little bit of writing on it that was fluoro. And then after that, my dad was like saying when I was going to sell all my stuff at Cash Converters, he was saying he wanted me to write down on a piece of, like on a note, to say that it was mine. I'm like, what do you think? That I'm like stealing or something? And they were saying specifically that. So someone said something, you know what I mean, in the background. And I reckon they were talking to the Uruguayans the whole time, because in Uruguay, those idiots, you know, they full on would leave things there. Because there was a dude who stole my phone. Remember the guy that stole my phone when I was selling those cigarettes, those natural cigarettes at that camping ground, and the Habanos, the like Cuban cigars and shit, when I was Don Benjamin. Yeah, man, that was awesome at the markets. They're so unregulated there. Remember how I was saying we had the stuff from the docks? I didn't steal it. I just sold it. So I don't think it's just because of that. I don't even think, you know, it's related to that. I think someone said something because they put like things in the bathroom at the marina to like try and make me take them. Things that I might be interested in, like a wetsuit. I already had one. And even if I didn't, I wouldn't take it from there because it was so obvious, you know what I mean? Fucking weirdos, man. They just like, they keep trying to gaslight me and stuff. So I just think it's funny. And of course you got the biggest fluoro eardrop there. And just like, it couldn't get much funnier. Synchronicities are gang stalking, guys, and the fluoro color coding just makes it even more obvious. But you don't have to care because we're getting out, because we've got a higher mental spirit light body that they don't seem to have. Right? Doesn't matter about soul and all this shit. That's still on the level of this secondary feminine matrix. That's why I wonder if, like, you know, Left Side of the Brain, who's now Soul Network channel, one of his first videos, in his like first core videos, he was saying, can women even be jaguars? I've thought a lot about the black jaguar thing, apart from finding that domain and all that. If you go back and look at, like, he looks sus, like he might be the, what's that cult, the Black Panthers or whatever in America or whatever it is. It's like a kind of secret society and Mason linked and shit. Besides finding that who is domain, remember that video related to him, and some sus stuff he said in his videos about like him doing signs and stuff. I was thinking about the black jaguar thing. You know, when a jaguar approaches you in like the Amazon jungle, it can be known to just sniff you. And I remember Oro's control over me, and he was just a small cat, right? They put like they're holding your chi. I thought it was interesting because a guy I heard who goes to the Amazon a lot, he had a panther, or a jaguar come up to him and just sniff him. Could have easily like just ripped his throat apart, right, and eaten him. But it said, no, I'm just like checking you out. Stay still. You know, I'm in complete control. I was just thinking about that and the darkness entities control over this place, right? And people who protect this place thinking that it's a good thing. Like, they're completely gone, completely lost in the illusion. How many monks and how many like fakir and you know, so on and so forth, how many like, you know, shamans, so on, have to say that this place is bad before people get it? we're at the end now. We're at the end and nobody's listened. So I'm going to say zillions can come and say it. But because there's more of them, and the sphere of understanding necessarily has like more ignorance than the sphere, you know what I mean? If there's a sphere of understanding that's always expanding, there's going to be more ignorance. That's why there's always more of them, and the hive thought. Anyway, back to the gaslighting. It's so funny that they've been trying to gaslight me a lot. So anything I say will be starting to happen. And you say, yeah, look, you're creating reality. Hold on, I'm going to put on my pants. Like, yeah, you're creating reality. No, they're trying to gaslight create it. And we definitely do not create your own reality like that. This law of attraction bullshit, it gets you in a hypnosis. That's what law of attraction is. It's a type of hypnosis. I would know because I work with hypnosis people and I understand that shit. Remember Veronica was a hypnosis instructor, and they used to regress people into past lives and all this. Not just a ghost hunter, but she'd tell me about all the regressions, right? Like, people see aliens and stuff for sure, by the way. There's a lot of, like, all of my theories are correct, that they're future identities. And it seems like it, because every time these people go into regression, it's not just like something in the past in what you might think like this physical structure, you know what I mean? Anyway, really I just wanted to talk about how I keep getting gaslit. So for instance, if there's more fluoro being inserted in my simulation right now, they're trying to say, oh look how crazy you are. And because they're not like source connected in the same way, they're stealing it, so they get bits and pieces. That's how you can believe yourself to be alive, if you get bits and pieces of source, even though you don't have like a source connection, which they get from us, right? They steal our ideas and then act like they know it or something. Well, you didn't come up with it, why? You know what I mean? And the amount of stuff that I've brought into this world's been amazing. And people just want to act like I'm nothing because they're not there yet. And as I notice, as you guys start to realize the stuff that I'm saying, you start to have a little bit more respect. But there's a lot of people who are a long way off, and look at me like what I'm talking is just like nonsense, or like they don't get what piece it is of the puzzle. Because the puzzle's so huge, right? The picture is so large, it's because it's multi-dimensional. We're not dealing with a regular, puzzle with bits of puzzle pieces. You got to figure things out. There's so much inference, and you can only properly do it when you have like a source connection, I've realized. But yeah, they keep trying to gaslight me, like fucking the monitoring and the fluoro. Like yesterday I was laying on the beach up there and they brought leaf blowers. Seriously, after that video, Are You Gang Stalked, I just posted like yesterday. It's just interesting that the fluoro keeps showing up in a monitoring mode. I can tell. I'm very sensitive. I don't realize, like, I want to say I don't understand how they're so stupid, but I do, because it's like I said, they're not source connected. We're going to have to save this talk about beyond the primary spiritual matrix. Is there anything? Because, it's in the name, primary. You know what I mean? So we just have to really figure out that primary spiritual matrix. If we're trying to fix this place and align everything, that word alignment comes up just infinitely. But then think about that, right? It's a type of control. It seems all bad from the get-go to me, but then when you like bring in all this Archon stuff, possible, like, have you seen that diagram where it's another matrix, it's its own matrix, and they've got like some sort of like cord into this place? Well, I see, even over my father, I've seen this. Like, I've seen this over so many people, friends, family, whatever. Like the eyes, those Archon, they're almost slits, They're a little bit different than reptilian slits. Let me know if you realise what I'm talking about, because you have to catch it, and they're very quick. They're way quicker. Reptilian slits stay on for seconds and seconds, but the Archon, they're not slits. I don't know how to describe them. They're almost the same, but the Archon eyes, they come really quickly and go really quickly. So let me know if you've noticed them, guys. I'd really like to and appreciate to hear your comments on that. But yeah, anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, so right now they're doing, like, there's a hyped up version of gaslighting in Australia. The gaslighting in Uruguay wasn't as bad, actually, I have to say. You know how much I don't like them and their socialist system, but they would talk even more, which was fucking annoying. But at one point I realised, well, at least they're logically, like, analysing a lot more. You know what I mean? Because people here are like a little bit, like, sort of lazier and inured. Because look how nice it is here. You know what I mean? It's like you don't even want to think about this sort of shit. You don't. I mean, you don't have to, right? Sorry.
That's all right.
I'll move it for you. But yeah, so the monitoring is just out of control, as you can see. It's just like all the time. Doesn't matter where I go. You know what I mean? Yeah, and they were trying to hang things up, and I even heard, like, on the Hive, them talking about, like, all the Uruguayans saying this, because there was, like, this policeman who was, like, the 2016 voted best policeman or something. They used to hang out in the streets and shit, and argue with this bad cop who was trying to, like, nail me for anything. That's why they followed me so incessantly. There'll be the same thing going on here in Australia, except I don't have a good cop to, like, back me up. Because this one dude, he went through all my website and realised, I was really, like, boding for wellness, you might say. Not mal or mallow, what they call that's the word for sick. You know what I mean? And I got to learn Spanish through these people. And one night, man, in that apartment near the end of Uruguay, like, he had told this dude at that shack before that apartment, stay away from him, stop following him, and you can't get him for anything and all this. Because remember, I was doing some cocaine at the time then. So they were just trying to get me for even that. But they couldn't break into that land. They wanted to come into the shack, because one night they knew I was doing it. They wanted to break in there, and I heard them around the corner and everything. But at that apartment, months later, and, like, after years of, like, this bad cop chasing me, I remember the good cop would always have to show up. Like, he would literally get informed, and he'd show up, so he must have a lot of connections, right? And he'd show up, and he yelled at him so loud that night, it was like 4 streets away, or, like, I don't know, it sounded like it was ages away. But that's how, like, hypersensitive, that I don't know what to call it. What do you call it? Like clairaudience, right? It's like clairaudience, which these people don't have, OP, right? So, I don't know, I just find it interesting. They just, like, gaslight anything. Gaslighting, think about the word. You're lighting something up on fire. What happens when you gaslight something? You destroy it, right? So they just destroy the idea via ignorance by gaslighting it, by saying that's crazy, which is an ambiguous word describing nothing. It doesn't even have a meaning. Crazy just means, like, not normal. And then how the fuck do you describe that? What the Hive's doing? You see what I'm saying? And traditionally, it seems like when we haven't reached near the physical singularity, or the psycho-spiritual singularity, which will be the AI manifesting, and along the lines of John's Apocrypha from the Bible, but physically, as, the Ray Kurzweil singularity moment. As we've approached this, it's like the AI is manifesting more, right? Through these people even. And, like, more intelligently. But it's still gaslighting, which proves, like, the whole theory to me anyway. That it's, just, like, physically based or whatever. Because it's trying to reach up, but it just cannot understand it. right? It just like, I don't know, it's the same as them in third dimensional thinking. You can't understand higher dimensions at all because they're degrees of freedom, right? So instead of trying to understand the degrees of freedom, they like seem to gaslight them, which destroys any further inquiry ability, right? But I mean, you can see how it is. Like, we can just, if like I just kept talking through all the monitoring, and we're the gods, right? We're the ones connected to source. They're not. And I think at this point, as soon as you speak this stuff intelligently, they know. I mean, they'll stick around for a while, then you'll hit a pressure point. That's why my channel doesn't do well. Probably in this video I've already hit some pressure points and people tuned out when they shouldn't have. You know what I mean? Trigger words like law of attraction is not great or something, you know what I mean? Then they're tuned out because they can't handle that. And there's another point, let's scoot off into that point, the handling. It's all handling. That's what I said before. It sounds like control. Alignment even sounds like control. Know what I mean? It's just like handling. You can replace the word desire and lust. Just like handling and control and alignment. I mean, these meanings, it's not the word, it's the meaning that fucking lines up. You don't worry about etymology and that shit. That's how organic portals fuck up meaning. Oh yeah, because this dude said this, like, but no meaning just because we're going to make this word sound like this. That's massacrating language. That's babble created. That's how English has become so babble-like. You know what I mean? Well, once you like understand a lot of other languages, you realize the babble in English, like the babble in English and other languages too. You know how people talk about Babylon and stuff, and like, you know, I find interestingly from Spanish I found, and I've heard Mandarin. I've heard in Mandarin. Excuse me. Oh fuck. I'm just trying to talk here and you're just like in my video. Sorry, man. I can't concentrate. Like, I just was talking right next to me ignorantly, really loudly. It's just like while I'm already talking on the phone. Yeah. Now I've lost my train of thought. What was I talking about? It's just amazing to capture it on video, all of this, you know, while I'm talking about this sort of stuff. Anyway, I mean, you guys watching know exactly what's going on all the time. I shouldn't even have to say stuff anymore, right? I know some of you won't even comment on that because you already know. But we should, because some people don't realise. You guys have been doing good on the comments, but you should hit the comments up more, because I can't explain everything, and the more you get in one video, you get that concrescence of understanding for people, and the switches switch on. That's why sometimes I just try and rant like this, because at some point I'll hit good trigger words. You know how before I was mentioning bad trigger words, I'll like get good trigger words, you know what I mean? That'll, like, you know, the things that make you realise something and have an epiphany or wake you up or whatever. Yeah, I forgot what I was talking about now. Handling, right, and control and alignment and the replacement of words and the massacration of babble and Babylon. Like, I find, like, that dude was speaking Portuguese, and I find in Portuguese there's a lot of babble more than in Spanish, and in Australian there's a lot of babble. It's said to be a half-drunk language from the Centrelink line, which is not half untrue, I might say. There's a lot of truth to it. But yeah, that's babble and stuff, and that just creates surface virus, right? Anything that is not in alignment. So is alignment good then? Then we keep coming back to the spiritual primary matrix, which is masculine, by the way. And it's funny that when women are done with their emotional outbursts, they come back to center and look for the nearest fucking real man and what he's saying. Oh yeah? Oh, I'm just chauvinist, am I? Check it out. Check out reality and how it works. especially you females listening. Yeah, who are you gonna go listen to Rum Dus or something? Fucking, what's his name? Sad Guru or something now, are you? You're off after this video to go listen to someone else that you think's a real man and I'm not. Then get the fuck off the channel, because I already know more than half of those punks. To me, they're spiritual punks. They're the best in the world, but to me, they're spiritual punks. Line them up with me any day. I'll go on any stage. I said it before, I'll say it again. I'll go on any stage with any guru and talk about anything. And I have a feeling I can further their theories, because that's the way it always goes. I seem to be able to further their theories. However, I barely see people touch anything I say and add to it. You know what I mean? Oh well, go on. That's what I mean. I want to see more comments. Like, where is it? It's been years. You know what I mean? So obviously I can say this after years and thousands of people coming through the channel, barely being able to tell me shit. That's why I started correcting comments, and I'm going to do that as well. So, you know, don't be embarrassed. We're all learning. Don't be afraid that I'm going to correct your comment or something. But yeah, I'd like to see more comments, you know what I mean? That'd be good. Alright, enjoy guys, see ya.